It's DJ Semtex. Right now I'm here with the West Coast finest. You know, from OD to Section 8, he's here, finally in the UK, man. How's it feel to be here?
Man, long awaited, man. You know, shit, I always wanted to come here, so I feel good.
How was the trip?
We had an emergency landing.
What, in the States or over here?
In Boston, actually, on our way here.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, something was wrong with the plane. So, yeah, it was a little rough, but we're here, so enough of that.
Now, last time we hooked up, you kindly took us around the streets of LA, you took us around Compton, you showed us what it is, and it's just good that you're here now, and it's, you know, from LA to the UK, it's like you just got off the plane.
Fresh off.
What do you want to do while you're out here?
I want to sightsee, really, you know, touch the people, too, at the same time. Yeah, that's about it, you know. Long way from Compton, so I want to see places.
Okay. Now, you're on stage tonight, sold out real quick. You looking forward to it?
Definitely. That's one thing I'm looking forward to, you know, the people. A lot of people, you know, they love my music in the States, but, you know, I'm also aware of out the States, too, and I want to see these people out here, you know, singing these raps and word for word, man, and see how much they embrace it, because all that does is motivate me to go even harder.
Before the Dre situation, I caught up with you at the studio. It was like TDE, everybody was there, Absol was there, Schoolboy and everything else. Yeah. And then you was talking about, like, you know, it'd be great if eventually if we hooked up, and then it's kind of like 2 weeks later, it's like, it was everywhere. It's like, how did that get initiated?
Basically, he just reached out, you know, he heard something off YouTube, you know, Ignorance is Bliss was the actual song, and he reached out. I was on tour with Tech 9 and J-Rock, and when he did, same week, the next week, we got in the studio and we locked in and did a whole bunch of records. And it wasn't no initial thing where he wanted to sign me right there, and he wanted to really just build and see, you know, what kind of vibe I had, and, you know, and fill me out. And then once we got past that hump, you know, went all the way full-fledged with it.
The recipe's banging.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Like, what was it like making that track?
It was really just off feel and off vibe, you know. As soon as I heard the beat, it just felt like, you know, something that can unify the whole coast. We ain't had that same feeling, you know, since Pac on California Love. And as soon as I heard the beat, I just thought of the melody, put the raps with it, man. It was a rap after that.
Now, TDE, you're really tearing it down right now, because I think it's like the New West with what you've got. Schoolboy Q, Absol, you know, Hands on the Wheels, getting bumped out here, is banging. And you guys, you know, tore it down at South by Southwest. Yes, it's like, so what's the plans for the rest of the year?
Really just, you know, keep solidify each individual artist. You know, that was our whole plan from the jump. We didn't want to come out with the whole group thing first, because what happens is it don't allow, you know, each artist to have their own individual space to be creative, and that's how groups break up, you know what I mean? And then you hear all this stuff. So what we did was we stamped everybody as their own, you know, artists and their own, you know, space where people can identify them for who they, you know, are in their music, and then bring it together as a collective. So our last piece to the puzzle was Absol, so eventually, you know, we'll be doing this Black Hippie thing. Yep.
So, you know, for mixtapes, you guys took it major?
Yeah.
So how's that working now?
It's working in our favor. You know, that was the whole process. Instead of us going on labels beating down doors like we was doing years ago, we make the labels come to us, you know, showing that we can go ahead and put the work in and have a following without any major budget behind it. And once you do that, once you build your own thing from the ground up, you know, they can't do nothing but, you know, follow behind it and try to make it bigger than what it is. And my situation, Schoolboy situation, we in full creative control, and that's the best thing you can have for artists, because once you get into label situations, a lot of people in your ear and want to change your sound and your look and all that, but we blessed to be in a situation where, you know, they completely believe in what we've been doing.
You got that vibe where everyone is saying you're the next to come through, and it's not even in like a way like, oh, he's the best from the West, or it's like just in general. And a lot of artists are seeing you or looking at you as the rapper's rapper. You know, everybody out here is feeling what you're doing, and the mixtapes and so forth. What can we look forward to on the album? Like, what's in store?
Me challenging myself again. You know, I never want to do the same thing. A lot of people always trying to ask me and, you know, compare it. You know, is it better than Section 80? I tell them, no, it's not better than Section 80, because it's not Section 80. You know what I mean? I don't want to be in that same space and that, you know, same sound. As far as conceptual, being the conceptual feel and themes to it, yes, it will have them similar feel. But as far as what I'm talking about and what I'm trying to get across is completely different. And that's just basically on me challenging myself and willing to take myself to the next level creatively. And yeah, you can expect, just brand new. That's what you can expect. I don't really want to give out too much information. I want people to hear it, but yeah, you can expect brand new Kendrick Lamar and me changing the game once again.
Your ethnicity, right?
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest hip hop records that's come out in a while, and I play it every week on my show, like literally, because there's very few records that come anywhere near close to what you say in that record, the way that you do it, the way that you flip the concepts and everything else. Is there anything like that we should look out for on the album? Anything that we should look out for that's coming for the fans of that style of music?
That style of music, I think that song represents, individuality, period. And this being my first debut, I think I'm representing that, and not just one song this time, but as a whole. You know what I mean? Not afraid to put out, my ills and my positives in one both album creatively. You know what I mean? So that same thing in that song matched the same thing in the whole album concept. Just me being myself, and that's what that song represents. And not being afraid to put it out there, how you carry yourself and your character and what you believe in.
Now, you've been on the grind, you've done the struggle, I've seen the mixtape covers develop, I've heard the sound get better, like the mixes are getting better and everything else. Is there anything you've learned from working with Dre, though?
Really, something I've been learning, but he made it, even that more important was, stay consistent and, keep yourself elevated and always challenge yourself. You dig what I'm saying? This man got millions of dollars, well off, awards, cars, family is right, good, build his own legacy, but he is still going to that studio every day, 24 hours, and try to perfect his sound, to take it to the next level. And that's something that I'm aware of when I'm in the studio with him. It's no such thing as reaching a point where you can't learn anymore. You dig what I'm saying?
Does he still want it?
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. I think he always gonna want it. You can't escape it. You got Jay-Z saying he's gonna retire years ago. Come back and still drop classics. So right. It's an itch you can't shake. When you're a part of music is a part of you. In one whole. So.
Does anyone in hip hop actually retire?
I don't think.
M flirted with it for a while. Jay flirted with it.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's a crazy itch, man, to be in that studio and hear do something different and.
Job for life.
Right, exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a high. It's really a high, because these dudes can't really say they did it for the money. When you broke, you be like, man, I want to get some money. There's a lot of money in the music. Now you got the money. It's like, so do I stop? No, you don't feel like stopping because, it's something that you love and you have a passion for. People got to respect that. The fans are definitely respect it. And, yeah.
Maybach music.
Yeah.
Now, on the brand new album, Self-Made Volume 2, the first track is Power Circle, talking about circle of power. Yeah. The first track on the album, you're the only non-Maybach music group artist on the album. That's crazy, right?
Yeah, man, it was crazy. Shout out to Rick Ross, shout out to the whole Maybach. I respect all them dudes, man, and it was just a pleasure for them to reach out, and acknowledge my talents and want me to be a part of that album and a part of the intro. That's the first track everybody's hearing, so my verse, I try to put my best foot forward, and it got the respect that I think it deserved.
South by Southwest, Best of the West show, you guys tore it down. It's really emotional to see yourself, J-Rock, Absol, Schoolboy Q live on stage. To see, like, yourself, Schoolboy Q, sold out show at SOBs in New York and everything, it's kind of like you've eclipsed that West Coast bracket, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a crazy thing because we did this just wanting to start in our own backyard first to sell out these shows. And we captured that, we did that, we accomplished that. But they always say, when you get the love on the East Coast as a West Coast artist, that's when you're really doing something, you're really making an impact. So we do that, then we go back, Midwest and the South, and South by Southwest and all these spots and being able to do it there. That's letting us know, it's on a bigger scale than just the States now.
I don't know if you're ready for tonight.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm going to. That's exactly what I'm going to. That allow us, to get the attention in London, you know, Amsterdam, all these spots, and be able to sell these out, you know, and get that same love. So when we know all these spots is genuinely messing with us like that, you know, it's bigger than just a hit record, one song, or, you know, it's more of a movement. That's why we started this whole high power black hippie thing. You know, it's more than just the music. It's a lifestyle that, you know, these teens go out here and the way they carry themselves going to school and being out of school, going to graduate and trying to figure life out itself. You know, that's what we represent. So when they attach themselves to the lifestyle, you know, it surpasses all the cliches of, you know, people latching on to one song then leaving you alone. These people will be with us forever.
Right. Okay. I've always said from the get-go, you got a style that's reminiscent of Q-Tip, Tribe Called Quest, and everything else, but you got a West Coast vibe. For the next project that you're bringing out, do you feel the pressure to put your music out in a certain way or to flip any kind of certain style?
No, I don't. Really, it's the thing is about it. Everybody keep asking about pressure because they think, you know, I'm with this mogul and feel like, you know, I got the weight of the world on my shoulders. But to me, I feel like everybody's catching on late. You know, this the music I've been making, you know, 10 years ago. I've been feeling I was the best at what I do.
Well, you can take it in any direction you want now.
Yeah.
That is good pressure. When I say that, it's more like, you know.
I look at it as, man, me being, you know, creative as I want to be and having fun with it, because that's what I did with Section 80, that's what I did with OD. To think of it as work now, that's where I will mess up, you know. So I just having fun and being myself on these records and saying what I want to say. Once I continue to do that, the people know it's real or not, you know, and they know.
I'm glad y'all been with me with this journey. So we're gonna start this show from the motherfucking beginning with my two favorite things in the fucking world. Let's go, Ali. Hands up! Hands up! Hands up! Hands up!
Yo, Kendrick, you killed it, man.
Appreciate it, man. Glad you came out.
Did you expect that?
Yeah, no. I expected it to be crazy, but I didn't know it's gonna be that crazy.
If your ethnicity when that blazed, it was like, I think that was kind of emotional, man. I didn't think you was gonna come on with that first.
Yeah, all the time, because I knew it's gonna be, you know, different people out there, you know, all us in the same family though, you know, because we is one. So that's how I like to start my show out, when I know. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any track that surprised you when you played it tonight? You were surprised by the response?
The hard part too. I wouldn't plan on playing that.
They were screaming for that too.
Yeah,
chanting for it.
That's crazy, because I used to come out to it at the beginning of my show when OD first dropped, and I switched it all around. You know, I just got that in the archives now, but they started chanting that. That was weird. I'm glad I had it in there and remembered it. There'd be a lot of raps in them songs, man. I'd be having to remember.
Yeah, they would have kept you here all night, man. You was offering out requests and stuff.
Yeah, definitely, yep.
So the UK are definitely feeling Section 80. Do you think they're ready for, like, you know, Good Boy, Mad City?
Yeah, definitely. I know they're ready. You know, just off the response I get from Cartoons and Cereal. You know, that was a song that just leaked. You know, that was supposed to be on the album, and I might still put it on there. I don't know. I'm still debating. Yeah, that was something that leaked, and they screaming that song, you know, like it was a single. You know, so it's really like a B-side to what's going on to it. You know, the singles that's dropping. And yeah, I know they're ready just off that response.
Okay. You got anything you want to say to your UK fans?
Man City, good kid. October 2nd. Yeah.